You know what's funny? Most of us look at Elon Musk and think, yeah, that guy's just built different, like he must have been born with a cheat code. The man is running Tesla, launching rockets with SpaceX, building brain chips with Neuralink, not to mention trying to colonize Mars before some of us can even finish a load of laundry. It feels almost supernatural, right? But here's the twist. One of the habits he swears by is so simple, it's almost boring. It's called the 5-hour rule. And before you get too excited, no, it doesn't mean Elon Musk only works 5 hours a day. If you thought that, sorry, you're about to be disappointed. The guy is notorious for grinding 80 to 100 hours a week. But the rule isn't about working, it's about learning. Every single week, Musk dedicates at least 5 hours purely to learning. Not meetings, not emails, not scrolling on Twitter, although he probably does plenty of that too. Actual, focused, brain-stretching learning. And that, my friend, is the not-so-secret weapon behind his insane success. Now, why does this matter to you? Because let's be honest, most of us say we want to level up, but when we track our time, we're really just binge-watching the latest Netflix series, scrolling through TikToks until 2 a.m., or arguing in comment sections with strangers we'll never meet. We tell ourselves we're too busy to learn, too tired to grow, too overwhelmed to add one more thing. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is reading physics textbooks for fun. Makes you feel a little guilty about that 3-hour Call of Duty session, doesn't it? But here's the cool part. You don't need to be Elon Musk. You don't need billions of dollars or a genius IQ or access to rocket scientists. You just need 5 hours a week. That's it. 1 hour a day, Monday to Friday. Boom, that's the 5-hour rule. And if you're thinking, come on, 1 hour a day isn't going to change my life, let's do the math. That's 260 hours a year. You could master a new skill, read 50 books, or literally get the equivalent of a college education if you stacked those hours consistently. It's like compound interest, but instead of making your bank account fatter, it makes your brain stronger. Imagine you actually followed through. While everyone else is stuck in the same loop, work, TV, sleep, you'd be stacking knowledge, skill by skill, year by year. In 5 years, you wouldn't even recognize yourself. So, what exactly does Musk do with his 5 hours? He reads a lot. He's famous for devouring books across wildly different fields. As a kid, he read so much, his parents thought something was wrong with him. While most kids were glued to Saturday morning cartoons, Musk was knee-deep in science fiction novels and encyclopedias. Later, that turned into biographies of inventors, engineering manuals, and yes, the kind of heavy physics textbooks that most of us only use as paperweights. He once said, "I read books and talked to people. That's how I learned to build rockets." Imagine that. He literally taught himself rocket science the way some of us taught ourselves how to microwave ramen noodles. But reading isn't the whole story. The second part of the 5-hour rule is reflection. Musk isn't just skimming pages like he's speed-running a summer reading list. He reflects, he thinks, he asks questions, he breaks down concepts and tries to rebuild them in his own words. This is the famous first principles thinking you've probably heard about. Instead of accepting ideas the way they're presented, Musk strips them down to the core truths and builds back up from there. Think of it like Lego. Most of us just follow the instructions in the box. Musk, he dumps the pieces out, throws away the manual, and builds a spaceship instead. And here's the part I love most. Musk doesn't just learn for the sake of trivia. He applies what he learns, fast. That's the third piece of the 5-hour rule, experimentation. He reads about physics, then uses it to build rockets. He studies economics, then uses it to disrupt the car industry. He digs into psychology, then applies it to building addictive platforms like X, formerly Twitter. The point is, knowledge without application is just entertainment. like watching a cooking show but never actually cooking. Musk takes the recipe and makes the dish, and then he tweaks it over and over until it's something the world has never tasted before. So let's pause here. Reading, reflecting, applying. That's the 5-hour rule in action. Sounds doable, right? But let's be real, it's not always easy. We live in a world that worships busyness. If you're not grinding, hustling, answering emails at midnight, society makes you feel lazy. So the idea of carving out one whole hour just to learn, it feels impossible. But that's exactly why it's powerful. You're reclaiming your brain. You're telling the world, my growth is non-negotiable. And that's the mindset that separates people who stay stuck from people who change the game. Let me give you an example outside of Musk. Bill Gates is famous for his Think Weeks, where he disappears with a giant stack of books and just reads, reflects, and writes down ideas. Oprah Winfrey is a lifelong learner who credits her success to constantly seeking knowledge. Even Benjamin Franklin, way back in the 1700s, practiced his own version of the 5-hour rule, dedicating daily time to reading and self-improvement. The names change, the centuries change, but the principle stays the same. Successful people make learning a priority, always. And you don't need to start with rocket science. In fact, please don't, unless you're planning to build your own SpaceX in the backyard. Start with what lights you up. Maybe it's psychology, learning how your brain tricks you into procrastination. Maybe it's fitness science, understanding how to finally stick to a workout routine without quitting after 2 weeks. Maybe it's storytelling, so you can communicate your ideas in a way that actually grabs people's attention. The subject doesn't matter as much as the habit. 1 hour a day, no excuses. Of course, you're going to face resistance. Your brain will scream, just relax, you've earned it. Netflix will whisper, one more episode won't hurt. Social media will lure you in with endless scrolls of memes and cat videos. But here's the harsh truth. Every time you choose that over learning, you're making a trade. You're saying, I'd rather entertain myself today than invest in myself tomorrow. And 10 years from now, that choice will show. It'll show in your career, your relationships, your confidence, your bank account. The 5-hour rule isn't just about cramming knowledge. It's about building a future version of yourself you'll actually be proud of. And let's be honest, it's kind of exciting to think about. Imagine a year from now, you're sitting with friends and casually drop insights from the 10 books you read about negotiation. Or you're at the gym explaining the science of habit formation because you spend time studying psychology. Or you're pitching an idea at work and people actually listen because you've been sharpening your communication skills. Suddenly, you're not just the same guy who used to zone out after work and play Xbox until 2 a.m. You're different, you're growing, and people notice growth. They're drawn to it. So, let me ask you, what would you dedicate your 5 hours to? Think about it. 5 hours isn't much. It's less than the time most of us spend watching reruns of The Office in a week. But over time, it compounds. It transforms. It launches you from who you are now to who you want to be. And if Elon Musk can juggle rockets, cars, and brain chips while still making time to learn, you and I have no excuse. None. Here's the bottom line. Success doesn't just belong to the smartest or the luckiest. It belongs to the ones who never stop learning. That's the real Musk habit worth copying. Not the insane work hours, not the Twitter meltdowns, not the weird baby names. Just the commitment to growth. 5 hours a week. Your brain is the best rocket ship you'll ever own. So fuel it. Launch it. See where it takes you. And hey, if this gave you a little spark today, do me a favor, hit the like button, smash subscribe, and drop in the comments what skill you'd dedicate your 5 hours to. Because maybe a year from now, we'll look back at this moment and realize it was the exact second you decided to level up.